Man, it feels good, Mr. James. And I knew, we had the capability of doing that. But, there's going to always be no naysayers, no matter what. So we just one game at a time. I appreciate the win. Hard-fought team victory, They played great as well. Tennessee played a pretty good game, on both sides of the ball. But I'm grateful for the win.
This may be the best win I've ever been associated with. Defensive effort, like you said, it was discipline. It was eyes on your luggage. It was finishing. It was running to the ball. It was tackling. Up front, our defensive line did a phenomenal job against their very good offensive line. So we got him stopped a lot of times before he got started. All those things came into play.
Tim, they say neck gaiters don't work, but I think some guys think they look awesome. That neck gaiter looks pretty awesome for John Harbaugh, the greatest win ever. He's got a Super Bowl wing. I don't know that it was the greatest win ever for the Baltimore Ravens for John Harbaugh, but to get that monkey off their backs as it relates to losing in the postseason.
That's right.
The loss in 2018, the loss in 2019, both at home, both games they were favored to win. And I thought it was the kiss of death for them to be favored on the road against the Titans. This just all added up to the Titans finding a way to kick Baltimore's butts. And then the Titans were up 10-0. That's part of what Lamar Jackson can't do. Can't lead the team from behind. They were down 10-0. Next thing you know, it's 10-10. It's a new ball game, and the Ravens methodically pull away. The key, though, now it helps to have Lamar Jackson doing Lamar Jackson things. When you can shut down the modern-age Jim Brown, the guy who had run roughshod, Chris, all over the National Football League this year, when you hold him to 40 rushing yards and 0 first downs, that is the way that you beat the Tennessee Titans, especially when you have a quarterback who can rush for 136.
No doubt. Listen, we're going to talk about Lamar, right, and all the awesome things he did. That was amazing. There's no doubt about it. But the story of the game, in my opinion at least, is the Baltimore Ravens defense. And like you said, first off, all the playoff struggles. Wait, we played this team earlier this year, and they kind of ran it down our throat and won the game in overtime for a 30-yard touchdown run right up right up the middle, right in our face, right? Then the game starts out, it's 10-0. Both drives kind of look good from Tennessee, and you're going, man, Baltimore, I don't know. This doesn't look good. They're teetering on, they might lose control of this football game. And then Lamar makes a play on third down, and the game was never the same. And the Baltimore defense just absolutely dominated from there on out. I mean, in every way. And we've never – I don't think we've seen really the last few years the Titans and Derrick Henry, to like what you're saying, get dominated that way. There was really, other than one run in the fourth quarter, there was not one time he got the ball yesterday where you went, watch out. Oh, you never even got like perked up in your seat, right? Other than that fourth quarter, I think he had an 8-yard run. Baltimore absolutely smothered him up front. Them being healthy up front, them, I think, playing them one time already, there was nowhere to go. Derrick Henry, he needs a little space, as we know. You've talked about it before. It's that build-up speed, and then once he gets going, watch out. But I felt like every time he got the ball, and by the time he took his second or third step, he had people in his lap, and he could never get momentum or power going. And that's where I give the Ravens a lot of credit. I mean, that was a phenomenal win by them yesterday.
That's the one flaw in his game.
Yes,
it's
right.
Otherwise flawless. It's just not instantaneous when he gets the ball in his hands. There is an explosion. My God, if you took everything else he did and put explosion at the point of getting the ball in his hands on top of it, he'd have 3,000 yards, not 2,000. It's that I'm really it's that first couple of steps, and when you've already played them and you start to figure out the rhythm to when the clock runs out on your ability to get the guy off his feet, you develop a sense. And my guess is they came up with some sort of a practice technique to how to get to Derrick Henry before Derrick Henry hits top speed and starts running through you or past you.
I'm so glad. That's where I wanted to go, because that's really what they did throughout the day. They basically played 5-man fronts, and Calais Campbell and Brandon Williams and Matt Judon, okay, they kind of controlled their guys, right? A lot of the times won their battle, pushed their guy back. But to what you're saying, and this didn't happen the first time, especially with the two rookie middle linebackers in Queen and Harrison. First time, they kind of just were like, hey, wait, I'm shuffling along, and I'm in my gap. If he comes through here, I'll tackle him. Yesterday is what you said. They're blocking guys up front, but when they saw the holes, they ran through the holes before the running back did. And how many times did we see Queen or Harrison, as soon as he got the ball and he's just getting to the hole, it was already gone. So I think they learned from that too. You're right. And just like, there's a phrase that the Buccaneers coaches, Mike Tomlin, used to use it: shoot your gun. You see the hole, you're responsible for that hole. Shoot your gun and run through it, because somebody's going to run through there in a second. And that's what they did, I thought, throughout the day, to your point, and really just smothered Derrick Henry.
Can't help but wonder whether or not they've given the rest of the league a blueprint for dealing with Derrick Henry. Because, I mean, if I see it, surely they see it. Because I see it just, I'm not breaking down the film like you do.
Right.
It's obvious that Derrick Henry needs 3 or 4 steps before he reaches top speed. So put him on his ass before he gets the 3 or 4 steps.
You just got to have the
Shoot
beast.
your gun is the way that they need to work on. You have to have the guys who can do it.
Yeah, you got to have the beast.
And if you're going to be in the AFC South, and deal with him twice per year, at least, for as long as he can continue to play at this level, that's where you need to really focus on it. Those are the teams, the Colts, the Jaguars, the Texans. Those are the teams that need to be looking at what the Ravens did, because they got to face this guy twice a year, and they don't have an answer for him. We were talking about the surrender index last segment as it relates to Mike Tomlin's decision to punt on 4th and 1 down 35-23 in the second half. Mike Vrabel, surrender index is back. Down by, what was it? They were down
by 4, 17-13.
They were down 4.
Yeah.
10 minutes left in the game. They're on Baltimore's 40. Anytime you're looking at the potential for a net field position gain of 20 yards, 2 first downs, and when you punt from the 40, I don't care who your punter is, you're taking a very real risk that you're going to put it in the end zone, right? That you're going to aim for the corner, you're going to try to kick a flat ball that doesn't bounce in, but you're looking at a very real possibility that it's a 20-yard net gain. Why do it from your own 40? You got it. And we've seen, that's the one area, Chris, in recent years where we saw the pendulum swing sharply toward 4-down territory. There was a time where you did punt there, right? There was a time where you didn't have the field goal kicker and let's play it safe. Now, then at some point it became, no, it's a given. That's a spot where you go for it. That's 4-down territory. And that stunned me, and he had an explanation for it after the game, but yada, 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 it didn't work. And there's a point where you have to tell your offense you trust them, and maybe on that day against that defense, Mike Vrabel just didn't trust his offense to gain 2 yards.
I think that's real. I think that's part of it. I think that's part of this. It's a little bit of a different discussion than like Browns and Mike Tomlin. It is. I will find this one. I think I could be a little bit more critical, I think, of this one than Mike Tomlin, too, because Baltimore scored a touchdown already in that quarter. They had already driven down and scored a touchdown to take the 17-10 lead. It was only 2 drives of slowing down the Ravens. So to just think, oh, man, my defense has got it at that point, I don't know if I could get behind that. But I think, yes, to like what you're saying, the fact that they got dominated at the point of attack on the line of scrimmage. And then I think also he looked at it and went, we haven't thrown a pass today that isn't bang, bang, because Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey were all over everything. So I think he was worried about all of that, and then probably thinking, man, giving them the short field with Justin Tucker, they get 1 completion or 1 run, they're in field goal territory. But, it still would have been a 1-score game at that point too, even if you do give up that field goal. So I'm with you. That was a little like peculiar, that one. I can understand it, but that one I guess I understand less than the Mike Tomlin decision there last night.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.